Stop. Look at your windowsill. Now imagine a plant sitting there that looks so convincingly like a rock that visitors pick it up thinking it's a pebble. A plant that produces zero leaves. A plant that's basically transparent. A plant that looks like a brain, a football, a cluster of green grapes, a wine glass, and a corkscrew. These aren't science fiction. They exist right now. They're sitting on windowsills in apartments around the world, and almost every single one of them thrives on neglect, survives on almost no water, and evolved appearances so bizarre that millions of years of predators walked right past them without noticing. I'm a botanist. I've studied succulents for decades, and these 10 plants still make me stop and stare. Here are the 10 weirdest succulents you can grow indoors, starting with the one that fooled an entire continent of animals for millions of years. 1. Lithops, living stones. Picture two small fleshy lobes pushed up from desert soil, flat on top, patterned with gray, brown, and rust markings. No stem visible, no conventional leaves, just two paired structures that look, with absolute precision, like a small rock split down the middle. This is not coincidence. This is millions of years of evolutionary pressure. Lithops evolved in the Namib and Karoo deserts of southern Africa, some of the most brutal environments on Earth. Herbivores desperate for water and nutrition would consume any moisture-holding plant they found. So, lithops evolved to not look like a plant at all. The New York Botanical Garden documents lithops surviving in soils with less than 2 inches of annual rainfall, and their above-ground portion is almost entirely storage tissue, living water tanks disguised as pebbles. Watering. Here's the rule that kills most lithops: too much water. In winter dormancy, give them zero water. Zero. They survive entirely on moisture stored inside their bodies. Water only in summer growing season, once every 2 to 3 weeks, maximum. In fall, a flower emerges from the split between the lobes, yellow or white, daisy-like, remarkable from something that looks like gravel. Difficulty. Easy if you ignore them. Dead if you love them too much. 2. Split rock, Pleospilos neili. People confuse split rock with lithops constantly. Here's how to tell them apart immediately. Split rock is bigger, rounder, and looks specifically like a granite stone that someone cleaved perfectly in half with a chisel. The surface texture is dotted with dark spots, mimicking the mineral flecks in actual granite. The coloring ranges from gray-green to dusty purple. It sits low to the ground with almost no visible stem. Split rock originates from the Little Karoo region of South Africa, where it grows among actual granite outcroppings. Birds and lizards walk across them daily without realizing they're plants. One remarkable fact: Pleospilos neili produces some of the largest flowers relative to plant size of any succulent. The orange or yellow bloom can be as wide as the entire plant, emerging from the central split. It smells faintly of coconut. Watering. Water once every 2 weeks in fall and spring growing seasons. In summer and winter, essentially nothing, monthly at most. The plant will signal stress by shriveling slightly. That's your cue. One plant, a windowsill. Visitors will argue with you that it's a decorative stone. 3. Baby toes, Fenestraria rhopalophylla. Now this one looks nothing like rocks. It looks disturbingly like a cluster of tiny, rounded baby toes pushing up from the soil, each one translucent at the tip. That translucent tip is the engineering miracle. In their native Namibian habitat, baby toes grow almost entirely underground, only the clear-tipped top visible above the sand. That transparent window acts like a tiny skylight, channeling sunlight down into buried photosynthetic tissue. The plant photosynthesizes underground, hidden from predators, hidden from desiccating wind, using light like a fiber optic cable. Watering, drought adapted to extreme levels. Water lightly once every 3 weeks in growing season. In winter, stop completely. And these plants will rot at the roots if overwatered. They have almost no tolerance for soggy soil. Grows in clusters that slowly spread outward from the center. In late autumn, white or yellow flowers emerge from the center of the cluster. Completely surreal looking. 4. Haworthia cooperi, the glass plant. If baby toes looks like toes, Haworthia cooperi looks like a cluster of water droplets, frozen mid-fall, somehow growing from soil. Each leaf is rounded, plump, and so translucent you can see the internal vascular structure with the naked eye. In bright light, individual plants glow like green glass beads. The effect is so striking that rare varieties sell for hundreds of dollars per plant. This transparency serves the same evolutionary purpose as baby toes. The plants partially bury themselves in sandy soil, with only the clear leaf tips exposed. Those tips conduct light downward into buried tissue. Watering, more forgiving than lithops or fenestraria. Water once every 2 weeks in summer, monthly in winter. Haworthia copri prefers indirect bright light. Direct harsh sunlight causes stress markings and color change. One of the few succulents that actually tolerates lower light conditions. Perfect for apartments. The glass bead appearance makes it genuinely one of the most beautiful plants you can grow indoors. 5. Conophytum. Cone plants. The genus Conophytum contains over 100 species, and each one looks like a different kind of candy. Some look like tiny green grapes, some look like smooth green buttons, some look like miniature red hearts, some look like pale green cones, hence the name. Now, but here's what makes Conophytum truly bizarre in the plant kingdom. They have an annual skin shedding cycle. Each year, the plant produces a new body that develops inside the old one. The old outer layer dries into a papery sheath, and the new plant emerges through it. Your plant will look dead every summer. It's not dead. It's regenerating inside its old skin like a botanical snake. Watering. Water only in fall and winter growing season, once every 2 to 3 weeks. In summer, when they're building their new body inside the old one, water nothing. Leave them completely dry. Touching them with water during summer dormancy causes rot. Small, button-sized plants that produce disproportionately large, fragrant flowers in autumn. Daisy-like blooms in white, pink, orange, or magenta. 6. Titanopsis. The jewel plant. Most succulents mimic the color of their environment. Titanopsis went further. It mimics the texture. The leaf tips are covered in small white, gray, and pink wart-like tubercles. Bumpy protrusions that look exactly like the limestone and calcium-rich rock fragments, among which it grows in South Africa's northern Cape. From above, a Titanopsis plant is effectively invisible against rocky soil. The warty texture breaks up the leaf outline completely. It's mimicry at a microscopic level. The rosettes grow flat to the ground, rarely exceeding 3 inches across. In late autumn, yellow flowers emerge from the center. Watering. Titanopsis has one of the tightest watering windows of any succulent. Water lightly in fall and winter. Its active growing season. Completely stop in spring and summer. Overwatering during dormancy kills it quickly. In winter growing season, once every 2 weeks is sufficient. Rarely seen in standard garden centers. Find it through specialist succulent growers. Worth hunting down. 7. Argyroderma. Silver skin. If you saw Argyroderma without context, you'd think someone had embedded smooth gray river pebbles in a pot of gritty soil and forgotten about it. The name means silver skin in Greek. Appropriate. The paired fleshy lobes have a smooth, polished, almost metallic gray-green surface, with absolutely no texture variation. They're the most convincingly rock-like of any succulent. Smoother than lithops, rounder than split rock, more uniformly gray than either. Native to the Richtersveld Desert in South Africa, growing in pure quartz gravel. The quartz is gray. Argyroderma is gray. Some precision evolutionary camouflage. Watering. Water once a month during winter growing season. Summer and spring, nothing. Pure neglect. These plants evolved in one of Earth's most rainfall-deficient regions. They don't just tolerate drought, they require it. Flowers are vivid magenta or yellow, shocking contrast against the silver-gray body, like finding a jewel hidden inside a rock. 8. Euphorbia. Obesa. Baseball plant. Everything about this plant is a perfect sphere. Perfectly round, perfectly symmetrical. 8 distinct ribs running from pole to pole like longitude lines on a globe. Gray-green body with subtle purple-brown banding. It looks machine-made, like someone 3D printed a cactus-shaped ball and placed it in a pot. It doesn't look biological, but it is, and it's endangered in the wild, hung so perfectly round and geometrically unusual that collectors harvested wild specimens to near extinction. The South African government now strictly protects wild populations. Unlike the mimicry-driven succulents on this list, Euphorbia obesa's sphere shape serves a different purpose: maximum volume with minimum surface area, reducing water loss in extreme heat. Watering. Water once every 3 weeks in summer, once a month in winter. Needs excellent drainage. The roots are surprisingly shallow. No misting, no humidity. Dry air preferred. Note: Euphorbia sap is toxic and irritating to skin. Handle with care. Don't touch your eyes after handling. 9. Albuca, spiralis, frizzle sizzle. Every plant on this list has been compact and ground-hugging. Frizzle sizzle breaks all the rules and makes you question whether it's real. No, it grows bright green leaves that corkscrew tightly, spiraling upward like miniature springs. A pot full of frizzle sizzle looks like a cluster of green telephone cords in the world's smallest telephone booth. The spiraling tightens in bright light. More sun equals tighter coils. Native to the western Cape of South Africa. Grows from a bulb, not a typical succulent body. In spring, it sends up a tall flower spike with yellow-green flowers that smell like vanilla and butter, genuinely beautiful and bizarre simultaneously. Watering. Water regularly in fall and winter growing season, once a week. In summer, the leaves die back and the bulb goes dormant. Stop watering completely. Resume in autumn when new spiraling leaves emerge. The best conversation starter plant on this list by a wide margin. Nobody believes it's real until they touch it. 10. Crassula. Umbella, wine cup. Ending on this one because it proves succulents evolved in directions nobody predicted. Crassula umbella grows a single stem, topped with a perfectly circular, cup-shaped leaf structure, like a tiny wine glass or an alien satellite dish. The leaf is round, flat, and concave, with the stem emerging directly through the center from below. That cup shape isn't decorative. In its native South African habitat, it channels morning dew and condensation directly down the stem to the roots, harvesting moisture from fog when rainfall is essentially zero. It's a water collection engineering system in miniature. Watering. Water sparingly once every 2 weeks in growing season, monthly in winter. The concave leaf naturally collects water. In fact, standing water in the cup for extended periods can rot the plant. A quick drink and let it drain. Extremely rare in cultivation. Finding one is the botanical equivalent of finding a first edition book at a garage sale. 10 plants. Zero conventional biology between them. Living rocks that fool desert predators. Glass beads that photosynthesize underground. Baseball-shaped spheres that are endangered because they're too beautiful. Corkscrew leaves that collect fog. Every single one thrives on neglect. Most want water once a month or less. All of them will outlast high-maintenance houseplants by decades if you simply leave them alone. The rule for every plant on this list is the same. When in doubt, don't water. Which one was your favorite? Drop it in the comments below. And if you know a plant lover who thinks they've seen everything, share this video. I guarantee they haven't seen all 10 of these. Subscribe. Because in botany, the stranger it looks, the more survival genius is hiding inside it.